Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time in my life. Coffee time, feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning to everybody. Do me a favor. I need you to invite somebody. Share. If you don't mind, invite somebody to share. So while you're inviting somebody sharing, I've got something I want to share with you. I am on some new vitamins. they got me lit. Listen, they have me lit, and I'm going to share my vitamins with you. Today, we're going to be talking about finding your purpose, finding your purpose. But while you are inviting someone and you're sharing this live, right? Because that's what you're going to do this morning, aren't you? You're not going to help me. You're not going to help me get the word out and invite somebody. Sure you are. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Thank you for inviting someone and sharing. Sharing is caring, right? Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you while you are inviting someone, sharing. We're talking about finding your purpose. I'm on some new vitamins. I got some good stuff. So I take this probiotic. I don't know if you can see that. This probiotic, I'm on it. I take one a day. So when I first got on the vitamins, of course, you can leave it to pick it to overdo it and sometimes to mess it up. When I first got on I was taking too much and I could not sleep. I was lit, literally in the middle of the night. Miss McGuy, good morning. Sunshine 1113. Good morning. And I take my vitamins to Dr. Alkaline water. All right. So I'm taking my probiotic. The next thing that I take is this. It's called D3. It's for a healthy immune system, supports strong bones, teeth, and muscle. It's the D3. Take one of it. You all inviting someone, sharing? Finding your purpose is what we're talking about. You need to take care of your health or you'll never make it to your purpose. Okay. The next thing that I take two of these. This is the sea moss that has bladderwrack, burdock root. Now, many of you know I've been a proponent of sea moss. I started telling you all about sea moss in 2018 before the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, I really went on a drive to try a campaign to try and get people to take sea moss because it has pretty much all of the nutrients that the body needs. And then they added bladderwrack and burdock root. So I take two of these. Now for the fun stuff. I take raw B12. I take one. Not that I need it, but hey, it's going to be a great day today. And I take all of this before I eat because I wanted to work on my gut. I wanted to start working, getting in my bloodstream. You can eat with yours if you desire. All right. And I've taken my vitamins, and I do that every day. I started it about a week ago, and all of the stuff that I dreaded doing, believe it or not, such as stuff that I needed to do, working out, dread. I was like, now it's not a dread because I have the energy. And I encourage you to get on some type of vitamin supplements, give your body what it needs so that you can live and enjoy life and have the energy as well as the strength to do some things that makes you happy. Okay. All right. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's do this. What do I want this? Put this here. Who else is on this morning? We're talking about finding your purpose. I just wanted to walk you through, the vitamin chart, primarily because if you're not healthy, I don't know how you're going to fulfill your purpose. Your health is key. It is an essential part of your life. You need to take care of your health. You need to drink plenty of water. Where's more? Got another bottle. What did I do with it? Anyway, drink plenty of water and mind your business. You'll live long. All right. Now that you all have, you've shared it, you've invited somebody. I feel like a kid again. Raquel Hill. Y'all give it up for my little sister, Raquel. So Raquel's going to be doing some live. Raquel's going to be doing some radio. There's a lot that we have in store for Raquel. And one of the reasons we had to get on vitamins is what I was finding out is that all of the things that I needed to do in the day, I didn't have the energy. I get up at 3:30. So at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, my body go to checking out. I am in bed by 7. Unless I have work to do or some obligation, but on a regular 7 o'clock is my bedtime. Last night I was talking to Gene.com, the little bro, and we were planning some stuff. I told Gene, I think it's time for us to do a grown-ups party where we can dress up, go out, listen to some good music, have some fun, some good food, maybe about 60 people. And we're going to do that the night before Thanksgiving. We're putting it together now, so make sure you put that on your date. Put that date on your calendar. It's going to be the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. It's going to give us something to do. One of the things that I think we have to do as a people, and this morning we're talking about finding your purpose, is we have to redefine how we are living. So many of us are living under the shadow of subjected Christianity. It's Christianity that has been washed or sanitized through the understanding of somebody else. You got to get out and discover what you like, what you love, and you've got to pursue that and not feel like you're going to hell. Okay. And one of the things, I've never been a party person, but I think social gatherings are necessary. Everything that we do, we're going to need each other in order to get it done. And we've got to interact more. I think we've got to do more than just go to church and Bible study. We've got to be intentional in creating spaces in life for us to enjoy ourselves. Oh, yeah, you heard it here. We've got to stop arguing over things that aren't important. And we really have to live our life because, in case you hadn't noticed, life is short. So I've gotten with a few people about doing some day parties, and I'm going to be calling their names, we need something to do. We need to do more than just go to work, raise the kids, go to church, and go home. So you all keep your ear to the ground. Make sure, because we're going to be talking more about that. But I was talking to Gene last night, and it was about 6:45, somewhere up in there. And he says to me, all right, Pickett, you done started slowing down in terms of conversation. I know it's about your bedtime. It is. It is. So, India Songbird, good to see you, sis. I love you, India. You are a gift to this world. Remember that. You're not just a great singer. That's not your only gift. You have a great heart. In this world, we need more people like you who are loving and who are willing to take everybody in and make them feel like they are family. That is something that you have. That is a gift. Your smile is contagious, and don't you ever forget it. Oftentimes, the people that God called and he marked are the ones that deal with some of the darkest days. But don't you let your dark days define you. Don't you let your dark days talk you out of who God intended you to be. Don't you dare listen to your dark days, because your dark days are going to be used as proof to refine your negatives and bring you great pictures. Whenever they develop pictures, they do it in a dark room. The dark room is where God hides you for a special time. And just because you haven't been found yet, just because you haven't been noticed yet, doesn't mean that God is done. And I'm telling you, God hid Joshua behind the cleft of the rock as he climbed up into the mountain to watch the interaction between God and Moses. And in the same way that Joshua was hid, David was hid on the backside of the hill. Nobody knew who he was, but at the appropriate time, he became the king of Israel. So don't you worry about being noticed. Don't you worry about being overlooked. God is working something out for you. He's raising up somebody somewhere to use their power, their ability, and their influence to bless you. Now, I'm talking to India, but I'm talking to all y'all. Woo! That thing jumps on me. So you keep your head up. Tarisha Lockett, good to see you. You keep your head up, stick your chest out. You are somebody. Don't you let nobody tell you you're anything different. You are more than enough. Everything that you need is on the inside of you. And I'm telling you, diamonds are made and refined from heat. They're hidden in coal. You can't see the diamond when it's found because it's hidden in coal. And pressure, and the pressure and heat and the fire of life burns the coal so that the diamond can be revealed. So whenever God doesn't have you on the stage in front of everybody, remember, there's still a diamond in you. I'm about to run around this studio. I feel something in this thing this morning. There's a diamond in you. Many of you, listen, I know we're talking about defining your purpose, but I got to get this off me. People like India Songbird, Raquel Hill, Tarisha Lockett, your voice need to be heard. Your voice need to be heard. Your voice is going to be heard because oftentimes I'm doing a Paula Tara, good to see you. I'm doing and this really wasn't a plug to talk about the church, but I'm doing a series at Encounter Church. We've done it. We've been in it 3 weeks so far, and it's called Divine Strategies. And it is literally how God breaks down evil, how he uses the evil, the good, and how he deals with those of us who have been overlooked, hidden. Those of us, listen, nobody didn't have to tell us we weren't nothing. We never believed we were. People oftentimes look at you from a distance and they are envious and jealous of you, and they don't even understand you don't want to be you. And how God takes that rejection, how God takes you being overlooked. God told Samuel to go to Jesse's house and anoint him a new king because Saul had disobeyed him. And Samuel said, God, go to Jesse's house. Saul's going to kill me. Many of us, it's hard for us to embrace what we know we're supposed to do because we're afraid of being killed. It's rough out there. It's tough out there. A lot of times our enemies really don't know. They don't have to hate us for us to do. We will self-destruct. We never thought we were all that in the first place. And it's that being left out. It's being overlooked. It's the your family not even inviting you to your own party. The interesting story about David becoming king is Samuel goes to Jesse's house and he says, bring me all your boys. And Jesse called all his sons but David. How in the world did the prophet tell you to bring all your sons and you bring 7, but you don't bring baby boy? You're talking about a dysfunctional family. How can a father forget any of his kids? And oftentimes we've been left out in our own mind, in our own heart. We never felt like we were worthy. We never felt like we deserved anything good. This is why we've compromised and settled in relationships. This is why we've compromised and settled as it relates to friendships, because we never thought we were that great. And I'm telling you, it's the posture of meekness that causes God to use you. And you're greater than your mind has said. The biggest lie that you're going to have to overcome is not what the enemy said about you. It's not what your haters said about you. It's you understanding who you are in him and you overcoming you. That's the biggest lie. Let me give you something good here. I know I'm supposed to be talking about, and we'll get to it, hopefully. Stephanie Clark, good morning. Finding your purpose. But oftentimes we generally have an idea of what we're supposed to do. We don't have the confidence because we've missed the mark. We've been around others who try to compare us to others. We've never been socially accepted. We've had haters on every hand. You got women that hate you and you're trying to figure out, what do you hate? And we've become professional at dressing up, putting on our face, and we're masking our hurt. We're masking our sorrows and our pain, because the reality is we really don't have the confidence in us. And I'm telling you, this is the stuff that God used. He uses the insecure. He uses the downtrodden. He uses those who feel they've been overlooked and left out. Those are the ones that he's raising up. This is an hour and a time for the misfits. This is an hour and a time for those that have been rejected, those that have been scarred, those that have been abused. It did not happen for nothing. It happened for a reason. And even though God didn't stop it, he may have allowed it. He's going to use it so you can be the answer to somebody else's problem. Being raised in the shadow of somebody else's gift, being raised in the shadow of someone else's opinion, having to bow down and worship at the altar of somebody else's opinion about you. Those are scars. We've been traumatized. We've gone through trauma. You have the audacity to hate me. If you knew what I've been through, if you really knew how I felt about myself, you wouldn't hate nothing. And all I'm saying to you is that God has a way of using those issues. He has a way of resolving those pains. He has a way of healing those hurts. He has a way of elevating you and reminding you who he created you to be. I am not what I feel about myself. I am not what I've gone through. I am not my past experiences. I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. When God made me, he broke the mold. You're more than a conqueror. Nothing can stop you, not even your own mind. And God has given you brand new mercies every day, because there's an assignment that you have to fulfill in this earth, and the devil can't stop it. You're going to be what he called you to be. You're going to do what he called you to do. And you need to know it. And here's the other thing. He ain't going to destroy your enemies. God ain't going to pay your enemies and your haters back for hating on you. He's not. I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. He's going to preserve your enemies and put them in proximity so that they have to sit and see what they tried to stop the glory of God brought out. He says, I prepare a table for you in the presence. Why is the table in the presence of my enemies? Because when my enemies see that the rocks that they threw did not work, they're going to glorify my God too. You created for this moment. You were created for this time. God could have created or revealed you, brought you into this world at any time in history. He brought you in this time. You've been released for this time because there is something in you that this generation needs. The Bible declares that David served his generation well. And I'm telling you all, Raquel, Teresha, Tamosa, India, Barbara Gray, Rosalind Clark Jones. I'm telling everybody on this live, you are needed. This generation needs you. They need what's in your mouth. They need what's in your stomach. The little sayings that you get, write them down. They're T-shirts and coffee mugs. There's so many things that you can do to monetize what God is giving you so that it creates the revenue necessary for you to go further. And I know I'm talking right. No, God didn't cause the person to rape you, abuse you, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual. God wasn't behind that. The enemy tried to do that to destroy you because even the enemy can see the gift in you. If the devil can see the gift in you and he's throwing attacks against you, that is proof, that is confirmation that the greatness that is in you is resilient. You're greater than what you even think about yourself. So need you to hold on to that even as we go through. I won't have a lot of time this morning to really comb through finding your purpose, but I got a few minutes I want to talk about. I want to kind of help people see that our purpose is connected to our personality. Purpose is connected to your personality. Let me give you something real quick. I'm going to use myself. I'm going to put me on display, if that's okay. So I was raised in a house. It was a lot of us. My parents had a lot of kids. And even though I believe my parents did an excellent job with showing all of us love, I never felt love. I always felt like I was overlooked. I did. So I grew up in a home, a loving home with godly parents who loved, the love was there. Something in me was broken that I could not see the love that they were giving. So you got to understand that we all are living. The Bible says that the life of the flesh is in the blood, but our blood has been tainted through the sin of Adam. Our blood have come through generations of all kind of stuff. All kind of trouble is in your blood. So there are a lot of things and a lot of issues that you have that it's in your DNA. Oh yeah, it's in your DNA. But you don't have to allow the stain that's in the blood to hinder you from the promise of your future. You just got to understand how to manage it. So growing up, I would fight in a minute. I got kicked out of school for fighting. Somebody asked me the other day, what school did you get kicked out of? I told them all of them. Not all of them, all of them. I was not the person you wanted to see when you came to school. I gave them teachers hell. Holy hell. Hell. Oh, yeah, they hated me and they had every right. And listen, so the insecure, I was an insecure kid. I didn't like me. I thought I was overlooked. I gave people hell because I was troubled. Well, all that stuff, that's DNA. Nobody taught me that. David said we're born in sin and shapen, fashioned in iniquity. Mike grew up till I had a fighting demon. So I gave him hell. Got kicked out of all them schools. Well, listen to this. So as I've grown in the grace, understood more about God, gotten closer to God, let me tell you how that dysfunction serves me now. I'm not looking for acceptance. I'll wait. Oh, Pickett, that's good. Why? I don't make moves based on what people think. I could really care less. Now, where did that come from? Because the poison that the enemy placed in my blood to isolate me and try to destroy me. Let me show you how God turned it around. I was raised and I didn't have the echo of the crowd telling me what I am and what I'm not. So even though I was raised in a loving environment, I was isolated. Now God uses that isolation because I'm not waiting for you and your opinion. I say what the Lord tells me to say. I do what I feel I need to do, right, wrong, or indifferent. You may not like it, but you got to respect my position on things. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Most of the trouble that I've gotten in my adult life is it didn't come because I was disrespectful. It came because I felt I had to speak the truth. And there are people that don't like truth. They ask you a question to try and control your opinion. I'm not one you can do that to. I've never been a yes man. I've never worked for nobody and been the yes man. And you can talk to all of them. They'll tell you, he's a piece of work. They say I'm a piece of work because if you ask me my opinion, I'm going to give it. Now, I never tried to embarrass. I always honored those that were over me. But don't you ask me your opinion and think that I'm going to buy into your idea just to be in your grace. I don't mind being alone. Oh, shut up. Give me 1 sec. Don't you go nowhere. I got something to share. Don't you go nowhere. So being isolated, playing by myself, creating my own toys, talking to myself, that stuff is work for my good. And what I'm saying to you is God takes the negatives and make them positive. DeJuan McIntyre, so good to see you. So when it comes to finding your purpose, your purpose is connected to your personality. For what I do, I have to be able to speak and be sure, which comes with the level of confidence I have to have. Well, I had to develop that. I've not always been sure. I had to develop it. God tells me something, or there's something I feel I need to do. I've had to develop the confidence to be able to do it. Your purpose is also connected to your passion. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're I have a great passion for music. I do. That's because it's something in that music that I'm supposed to do. And as much as I can, I have and I continue to fulfill that musical assignment. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I've created my own way. Because there's a uniqueness that you bring to the table. That's why God chose you. And oftentimes we're guilty of comparing ourselves with other people, and we become parrots because we begin to pattern who we are after them. And it's really not cute. It's an injustice. It's an indictment on who God created you to be whenever you start picking up somebody else's personality, somebody else's traits. You really... It's terrible because there's a uniqueness that you're supposed to bring to the table. I don't care where you go and who you ask. Anybody that knows me will tell you, ain't nothing like that Terrence Pickett. Now that could be good or bad, it depending on what setting. But wherever you meet me, wherever you see me, one thing is consistent. I don't change who I am to fit in. I am me. Listen, I can be loud and jovial. I love humor. I love to laugh. And I don't care what setting I'm in. It does not change. Because there's a security that I've gained in being me. I'm a gift to the world. And I understand that. And I stand in that. So I don't have to change in order to fit in somebody else's graces. So there's a uniqueness in you. There's a passion in you. And that passion is connected to your purpose. You walk into a building and the first thing you notice is you notice administratively things are out of line, things are out of order. And immediately people think that you're being critical, but you're not. Here's what's happening. You go in, you say, well, they should do this and they should do this. And why they don't do this? And why that's that purpose kicking in. It is. Your purpose is kicking in. Because the moment, in order to be purposeful, there has to be a problem. It's the problem that gives us the unique experience to walk and live out our purpose. If there's not a problem, there's not an opportunity for you to show your gift. And this is why we should never run from an issue. We have to look at the issue, examine the issue, and think about what we can do to fix the issue. This is how you define what your purpose is. What is problematic to you? I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I hate. I hate I hate parrots. I hate parrots. I hate parrots with a passion. Because parrots, one thing that humans have, so you take a parrot, which is a bird, and you take a human. Humans have the ability to change based on the emotion that is involved. Maybe the texture or tone of your voice. The texture and tone also can alert us or testify of your mood, where you are mentally. Generally speaking, when we are excited, eyebrows go up, and unless you're A-Train, he's probably one of the few people that I know, no matter what mood it is, his eyebrows don't move. I tell him all the time he's abnormal. I don't even think he's a real human. I think he was a science project. Test tube, baby. Anyway, humans, our voice change based on the mood. So when we're happy or jovial, the eyebrows are lifted and the voice heightens. And in sadness, eyebrows come down and our voice drop. Well, these are textures of tones that speak to the mood that we're in. Generally speaking, when we're being serious and straightforward, there's a calmness in our voice when we're trying to communicate. And based on how the recipient of the conversation receives us, literally determines the texture of our tone. When you tell somebody something, y'all know this, you have children or you have people that you're over, you done told them to do the same thing 3-4 times. You start getting confused because I know I said what I said. What's the problem? And there's a read that your face gives. I've had to work on my poker face over the years because I used to fail at that miserably, horribly. But I done told you this 2-3 times. Is it the way that I'm saying it? Because I think I communicate pretty clear. But maybe the way that you're grabbing it, whatever it is, it's getting on my nerves because I don't like repeating myself. You know, we go to turn our head sideways. So all of these things that we do in conversations, we never pay attention to, but there are testimonies of who we are in situations that are uncomfortable, or we tell our mood based on the circumstance. Well, parrots don't do that. The house can be burning down. House on fire, house on fire, house on fire, house on fire. The tone never changes. The volume does. House on fire. And it's sickening. It's agitating. I don't like parrots. Give me more than that. You know, people who talk at one level and there is no emotion connected. You send me a text. I don't want to talk to you. Terrence, the house is on fire. No. I require more. If the house is on fire, I should see something. Hey, the house, some level of panic or something. Well, it's the same thing when we when we mimic other people, when we admire them to the point that we take on their characteristics and their attributes and we start thinking we are them. It's sickening because you've ignored the uniqueness that God has given you. So you have to go back and ask yourself, how did you get this way? You need people around you that tell you, hey, you starting to sound like such and such. You starting to act like such and such. And it's those things, believe it or not, that help draw parameters and bring it to your attention. Because if we don't notice it, we become it. And the reason people aren't satisfied with being themselves is they've not been in an environment that's conducive for them to know themselves. So this is why you need the right friends and right people around you, because they can help make those corrections. All right. So whatever you're passionate about generally leads to your purpose. So you're agitated because there's no organization. Generally speaking, you have the gift of administration because you can come in here and bring order to everything. You can bring order to anything and do it in less time. Now, I'm an organizer, right? I am an organizer, and I like things a certain way. But I've seen people with the gift of administration operate. I can't touch them people because for me, it's going to take some time, right? Y'all, I want you to stand here. I want you to stand there. You all stand in the middle. And then there's certain decor that I want, but it takes me time. But with you, it comes like this because it's your gift. And that gift is looking for opportunity to express itself. That is purpose. Purpose is defined as gift and an opportunity to express itself. I tell you what I am good at. I'm good at talking and communicating. I'm good at making my points. I am. And people tell me all the time, boy, you got an answer for everything. That's my gift. Yeah, that's why I'm a consultant. I made a lot of money consulting. I have a gift to bring answers to the table. I can look at a person and if I see them, I'm telling you immediately, watching them, be able to tell you exactly what they're supposed to be doing in life. Yeah, that's a gift. So if I was trying to be somebody else, then I missed the direction and the opportunity for me to express what's inside of me. Me mimicking somebody else literally puts a cap on the gift that is in me. Because if I'm mimicking them, I'm closed off to who God has called me to be. And the gifts that he's placed in me, they have no opening to come out. So I don't try to sing like nobody else. I don't try and preach like nobody else. I don't try and talk like anybody else. I know I split verbs occasionally, but you better believe it's not because I don't know the English language. It's because I choose to take the shortcut. I am a product of Duval. So your gift inside you comes alive when there's opportunity. The opportunity, generally speaking, the opportunity can only be seen in trouble. I was raised out east. We don't say east side. Out east. Teresa Lockett, tell them. Teresa and I lived down the street. They lived at one end of the block, same street. We lived on the other end of the block. They ran their side, and we gave glory to God on our side. But most times in situations of tension, that tension is there. Tension is the result of no solution. So if it's a tense environment, you have to be the answer or the solution to rectify the problem. That's opportunity. We want opportunity to be comfortable. That's not how it happens. Your gift is going to get you noticed, but there has to be a problem in order to give you an opportunity. Let me go Bible. Goliath was a problem. He's a problem to God's people. He's a problem to that area. Goliath was he's a problem. David's name got hung in lights because David became the solution. He didn't run from it. He didn't look at Goliath. My God, you bigger than my daddy. You too big for me. David had a zeal that he had learned by practicing his gift, keeping the sheep. This is why it's important for you, no matter where you are right now, you perfect where you are right now. Your job, whatever is around your house, your family, believe it or not, everybody around you, no matter what place you are, everybody around you at some point in time is going to create a problem for you to be the solution. And you have to be the solution in low places before you can be the answer in high places. This thing is progressive. It's layers to this. It's an inclination. You don't just go to the top because you gifted. There's steps you got to go through because there are things that have to be solidified in you. Your confidence comes when you practice. You practice for real. Your confidence comes through practice. Y'all wouldn't believe this, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. I used to hate talking. I used to hate talking to people. And you're sure not going to get me to talk in public. I was the kid that cried when he had to give an Easter speech. I was the kid that hated it. Hated standing before people. And let me be honest with you. Some of that disdain is still here. There are times when I still approach the stage where I am like, oh my God, there's this anxiety that I have to fight. And sometimes it comes on more stronger than other times. But I start mastering and maintaining a position of confidence no matter what my nerves are doing on a low level. What was the low level for me? It was singing in chorus in school and doing solos, singing in church, doing solos, standing up in church, talking. I was working the fear out then. Now, the thing about this fear is many of you want to operate in purpose, but you're saying you need to overcome the fear. Faith is operating with the fear, but not allowing the fear to control what you believe. So I was telling the church Sunday past, there's Sundays I'm fighting anxiety. Why? because it's a part of the demon that tries to hinder me from walking in the place. But it's also the thing that keeps me humble. But baby, where's my sister say that? Baby, let me tell you, baby, once I get going, you give me 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm gonna work through that anxiety. I am. Because I control it. It does not control me. It's here, but it doesn't control me. But that comes through practice. David practiced killing lions and bears in his father's yard with his father's sheep. Most times, your gift, there's an awareness of that gift, your purpose, in your father's house by problems that are created at the house. We would have, in the house I grew up in, my parents' house, we'd have prayer meetings. My dad would make me lead the prayer. And he'd make me teach from scriptures. We'd have, I think it was on Wednesday nights. I tried to forget most of that stuff because I hated it. But we'd have Wednesday night family prayer, and he would give me the Bible and say, you teach. What was he doing? I don't completely know if he knew, but he had an idea that there was something that God was working out in me. Can you imagine doing Bible study in front of your sisters and brothers? Because they the worst ones. I remember my sisters two of my sisters would tell, you were terrible in prayer. My God, boy. They're not saying that now. Come on. This gift is taking me all over the world. I've spoken in the public sector. I've spoken in the private sector. I've spoken in corporate America. I've been a voice for many companies. I was nervous then. The nerves are still there. They don't control me. I control it. I had to sing at one of my brothers, one of the guys I grew up with, Landry Brantley. His mom went home to be with the Lord. The service was this past Monday at Bethel Baptist, and I had to lead a song. And before, when he was giving that intro, my nerves are cutting up. No one knows it because I've learned posture. Everybody ought not know what you're thinking and know what you're feeling. There's a such thing as being transparent, but then there's a such thing where you go overboard. You don't share everything. There's a such thing as privacy. Everybody shouldn't see all parts of your body and know every little detail about you and your marriage and your kids. Transparent moment, and you just go spilling it all. Are you crazy? You need to reserve some of that stuff. Let me tell you why some of that stuff needs to be reserved. You're in a fight. You're in a battle. And most of the battles that we're in, the reason we are in them is we revealed too much too soon, and we gave the enemy ammunition to use against us. Some things you ought to keep private until you master. Now, I've mastered working through my fears. Notice I didn't say I've mastered my fears. No, I've mastered working through them. So I'm getting ready to sing this song, and my nerves are going crazy. I looked at Carmela, and she was directing the choir, and I said, hey, I'm following you on this song. I said it would come. No one knew. Y'all wouldn't know if I didn't tell you. So being nervous is not an excuse not to do what you've been created to do. The reason the nerves are there, the nerves are really a compliment of your faith. That no matter what I'm feeling, I'm so convinced that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to let it stop me. And it took me about 30, 45 seconds to work through them nerves, voice be cracking. And I wish someone would try and clown me about, boy, your voice, no, it was cracking in the beginning of the song. Yeah, but did you see the power? When I open my mouth, I believe God is in it. I ain't here to perform for y'all. I'm not an artist. I'm a worshiper. When I sing, I bring my closet to the stage. I ain't trying to impress you. Impressing you don't put money in my account. Impressing you doesn't cause me to overcome the things that I struggle. So who are you that I should impress? Now, I ain't going to crack on every song, but occasionally it happens. It's called being human. So there's a reality that you have to embrace. That reality is, one, most times your purpose is going to be seen in your problem. The problem is an opportunity for you to express the gift that God has placed inside of you. All right. When you come forth, nothing's going to always be right. In fact, most times it's going to be wrong. Your body's going to turn on yourself. That's what being nervous is. It's my body turning on me. Many times I understand, why are you still nervous? It's part of being human. Having faith does not dismantle your humanity. In fact, faith is a testimony of just how human you are, because you're able to trust God regardless of how you feel. And it doesn't stop me. And I conquer it every time. By the time we got to the bridge of that song, I was wide open. Leaning all back, wide open. The nerves stopped. If you are persistent in what you believe as it relates to working through the idiosyncrasies in your own personality or your own personal dysfunctions, if you're persistent and consistent in working through those things, you'll shake it off. It won't be able to stop you. By the time I finished that song, I was ready to sing it again. I even squalled at the end of the song. Well, the end of the song was not indicative of the beginning. Because at the beginning, I didn't want to do it. Sometimes the power that is executed comes from the fear that tried to hinder you. Say that again. Sometimes the fire and the passion that people see and you feel in execution is a result of the fear that tried to stop you. Let me tell you something. I was wide open singing that song. When I say I was wide open, I squalled, I hit high notes, I did runs, jumping up and down. A lot of that came from that fear. I release it by praising him. This is why you can't be ashamed of giving God glory. I don't care where you work. Now, there's a posture I believe that we're supposed to have. I think we should be able to speak adequately in corporate settings. I don't think you should be in corporate settings speaking in tongue. I think that's ignorance. But there are times in corporate settings, different meetings I'm in, stuff just jump out. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And they looking at me, it just jumped out. But you should have a skillful language to be able to fit into any environment. And that language should include thanksgiving. Because at the end of the day, whatever move that I made, I am what I am by the grace of God. God did it. Grace did it. Keita Jones, good to see you. So you can't allow anxiety, fear to stop you. You can't become a carbon copy of somebody else in order to fit in their graces. There's a uniqueness in you. And as you go through the vicissitudes of life, you need to understand that your gift is the answer to your happiness. I am most happy when I am able to walk out and do what I'm called to do. There's a satisfaction that I have that is unmatched. Latasha Holsey, what up, girl? Good to see you. It's unmatched. I'm most happy when I'm executing what I've been created to do. I tell my friends and family all the time, if I ever slip into a state of depression, if I ever get to a point where just give me a microphone. Let me sing. Let me talk. Things got my head hurting and my ears. I'm sorry, y'all. Just let me do what I've been created to do, and my joy automatically comes back. It does. Your issues and dysfunctions are not a license for you to escape what you're called to do, your purpose in life. You got to learn how to work through them. I have something that is off in my temperament. There's an imbalance in my temperament. I've gone to the doctor about it. And what it does is if I don't get the right things in my body, I can slip into a state of depression. But I learned this through knowing me. I used to wake up wanting to kill myself for no reason at all. Like, why are you so? I'm for real. Like, dude, I just want to die. Just want to die. And I didn't understand. I thought it was a demon. So for years, I'm pleading, I plead the blood against you, lying, foul spirit. Loose your hold. Come out here. I spit on my own forehead and fall out. Got that kind of power. And for a long time, I didn't recognize. I had no idea. I thought it was a demon. And it wasn't until I started going to the doctor, getting checked up, that they were able to see, no, there ain't no demon, boy. You just have an imbalance. They prescribed a certain medication for me. And when I started reading what the medication does, the side effects and all that, I'm not taking this. Is you crazy? Well, believe it or not, the stimulant that I need is in coffee. It really is. Coffee is a stimulant. And when I start taking vitamins, let me tell you the answer. So they gave me a prescription, but the prescription had side effects. There is a natural resolve to all types of climatical dysfunctions in your life. There's a natural resolve. So one of the things that helped balance me out, believe it or not, is B12. It does put me right where I need to be. I just be happy and jovial. So everything is not spiritual. Some things are clinical. If medicine can fix it, it's not a demon. Because if you got a demon and your medicine can't fix that, that's a spiritual problem. But so I take B12 and I don't have those feelings anymore. Unless I stop taking it for long periods of time. So there are often times when I'll go on a fast from coffee. And I may do it for 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the longest I've gone was a year where I'm just not drinking coffee because I'm not going to let anything control me to the point where I got to have it every day and I can't go without it. When I do that, I have to make sure I take my B12. It levels my mood. So, child of God, you need to know that you're not crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. It ain't a demon. Most times it's just a imbalance somewhere. And those imbalances do affect your purpose because you don't feel like doing it. I don't wake up every day feeling like doing what I need to do. Generally speaking, from the time I get up till I get that first coffee of liquid prayer coffee, I'm not somebody you want to talk to. I'm just blah. Just here we go, another day. Father, I thank you for this day. But I wish I could get back in this. I don't want to face this. I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do that today. And I've trained myself how not to be a sourpuss in the morning. Some of y'all just sourpuss. You're terrible. I've trained myself how to have an attitude of gratitude when I crawl out of that bed. God, I thank you for this day. I'm not moved by what I see, neither what I feel. I'm moved by what I believe. I command my body to operate in the best function that you created it to be. I command whatever I'm lacking to be restored in Jesus' name. And then I take them vitamins. All that commanding, faith without works is dead. You better do something about it. All right. Before I log off, y'all have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions? I was telling somebody the other day, we were talking about ginseng and how ginseng literally it gives you that burst of energy. Well, I had to stop taking ginseng because it was doing other stuff to me. It just, Lord, how can I say this? Because, you know, there's a level of discipline that you have to operate if you're going to be somebody's pastor. You just can't say whatever you want. But it was making me horny. Like, I take that ginseng and I'd be like, my God, what's going on? So I had to get off that ginseng and find something else. Because I was buying in the strong man every day. And that was some years ago. And the memories from what it did to me keeps me from it now. So I take B12 and it doesn't do me like that. It doesn't. So you've got to get to know your body. You got to know what works for you. And you cannot allow your climatical dysfunctions to hinder you from doing what you're supposed to do. The empowerment that you need to accomplish your goals come as you begin to step out and walk in what you were created to walk in. Yeah, Teresa, I didn't know people took ginseng to get pregnant. I had no idea. I had no idea that men took it because they had problems with their soldierizing, standing in attention. Somebody was telling me, hey, it gives you energy, make you feel better, blah, 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 blah. So I started buying the cases of it. I'll tell you how long ago that's been. I was married at the time, and I've been divorced over 20 years. But I started taking that ginseng. I stayed on top of that girl. She didn't get a break. She probably felt like I had a demon in me. It's that ginseng. I was bouncing off the wall. Come here! Shabba. So I had to get off of it. And I had to find something else to supplement where I'm lacking. Listen to me, y'all. Hear my heart. You got to get to know yourself, and then you're going to have to try and find things to supplement what you're lacking. If you have a problem with energy or depression, or you're always feeling low, you need a stimulant. B12 is good. I'm going to tell you what else will help you. This sea moss will help you. That sea moss give you energy. It really does. And vitamins are necessary. Only thing vitamins are, they supplement what maybe your body doesn't produce. Be careful how you all take that melatonin too. Melatonin is good, but your brain creates melatonin. But if you start taking too much melatonin, the brain will stop supplying it, and you'll be taking it the rest of your life. So get to know yourself, see a health care professional, and whatever you prescribe yourself, make sure you pay attention to yourself. I know when something's off with me. I started taking them vitamins, and I'm literally waking up 1 o'clock in the morning, can't sleep, staying up 2 days at a time. I'm like, something wrong. And then I had a conversation. Yeah, you need to probably take less, and it balanced me right on out. Slept pretty good last night, even though I slept wrong. My neck hurts a little bit. But you got to get to know yourself so you know what works and what doesn't. Believe it or not, you knowing you and empowering you and having the energy that is necessary helps you fulfill your purpose and see with clarity without your dysfunctions getting in the way. Most of this stuff, I'm telling you, most of the stuff that we do because of a feeling. Got to balance that out. You don't feel like it. Well, what's going to give you the energy is you got to take the right supplements. Anyway, hey, I really love y'all. I really enjoy this too. Thank you all for making this happen. Because if you don't show up, it ain't nothing for me to say. So I appreciate you. For those of you that help support us, I'm really grateful for you. Thank you for your monetary seeds. You can give at $sponsor coffee time. I appreciate you. Thank you for your gifts. We're able to do what we do because of the love and the gift of the people. I can't do it without you. I can't do the coffee time without you. And then I can't make a difference in our neighborhoods, our community, without your financial contributions. So I'm really grateful for you. Y'all been rocking with me a long time, and I don't take that for granted. So thank you for sharing your morning with me. Remember, you were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you that the wisdom on the inside is not able to handle. You got to calm down, slow down, trust God, use emotional intelligence, and be quiet. Let wisdom speak. When wisdom speak, you will always win. You all have a great day. Go be productive. Change somebody's life by the gift that you are. And remember to think higher. Speak life. I look forward to, I think I'm going to do another one later on today. So y'all watch my page. All right. I love y'all.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right. In my life, it's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time, coffee time. In my life, coffee time, coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.